Hey, what's up everybody, Nexel here. Today we are playing Kingdom Hearts Union Cross and we've got a few things that we want to talk about today. So first thing, before we get started about any of the in-game stuff, I just wanted to show you all really quickly that Anti-Aqua or Dark Aqua, the Funko Pop, is available for purchase. I believe, I don't know if it's only in the US. I don't know if it's the only place where you could buy it, but it should be available via Box Lunch's website if you wanted to go pick it up. I believe I picked up mine for like $13-14 US. So if you live in the United States of America, you can pick one up for that price plus shipping if you don't live next to a Box Lunch. Unfortunately, I don't know how it works for international. But if Funko Pops are your thing, Anti-Aqua is available to be picked up. Alright, next thing I want to talk about is actually the event coins galore. So there's only, I believe, 1 to 2 days left on this event, and it's actually not too bad of a grind. So if we look at where I'm at right now, so I know it's at 0%, but I actually have all the coins that I need in order to complete all the boards. Keep in mind that the power gems, the speed gems, and the magic gems, they all have a second board to be finished, whereas the sun and the moon gems only have these one boards each. So it takes roughly about 118,000 coins to finish up the whole thing. But if you have maximum rare enemy perk on and you're doing the legendary quest, it actually isn't too bad because things like this. So the rare enemy or the gift shadow has the ability to drop 1,000 or 2,000 coins. And then if you activate Steel 3, if it like randomly procs during those times, it multiplies that number by 4. So if you encounter a gift shadow and you activate Steel 3, you're either getting 4,000 coins or 8,000 coins. Now going back to the actual boards themselves, as you can see, some of them only cost 12,000 coins. And then going back to the picture, this is already 9,440. It's pretty much almost the entire board. If we take a deeper look into the power, speed, or magic boards, it's not exactly a lot of coins. So 100 coins here, 300 coins here, 800 here. So it's not exactly a lot of coins in order to complete these. If we look at the sun and the moon gems, unfortunately there's only 3 each. But again, relatively low cost to get these. So all in all, I believe you can get 30 of the power, speed, and magic gems, as well as 3 sun gems and 3 moon gems. Again, it's not very hard. My big recommendation for you would be to equip as many rare enemy perks as possible, because the big thing is that you get the enemy to spawn there, and then you worry about Steel 3 proccing from there. So this is a setup that I've generally been using, just maximum rare enemy perk, because once that rare enemy spawns in, you're getting anywhere between 1,000 to 8,000 coins guaranteed. So just a little tidbit for you to keep in mind as we run into the final few days of this event. Make sure you get those gems, because it's again 30 power gems, 30 speed gems, 30 magic gems, 3 sun gems, and 3 moon gems, more or less for free, because there's not a lot of things to burn our AP on. So it's just a quick, easy way to use your AP and get free stuff along the way. Alright, next thing I want to talk about, which is probably the thing that most people are going to be here for, is going to be this Foreteller deal, which is pretty strange because it is a bunch of tier 10s, and it's a 3-pull mercy, which is very, very new. I feel like 3-pull mercies were a limited time way back in the day, and it was a while. It's been a while since we had the 3-pull mercy for a supernova medal, let alone a tier 10 medal, which is pretty bananas here. So first things first, I want to address this, is that I'm not really going to be talking about the medals. I'm not going to be doing an in-depth analysis of them. We've already done that before. Go ahead and check out my original Foretellers video. I believe the video is called New Foretellers Are Here or something like that. I'll put a link in the description below, but I'm not going to talk about the medals. I'm only going to talk about the relevant things when we get to that part. So the first thing we want to talk about with this banner is that when you do the 3-pull mercy, so again it says in the bottom right corner of the banner, get 7-star one of these 5 medals within 3 draws. The first thing you want to notice is that it's pretty great. I mean, 3 draws, that's only 9,000 jewels, which is pretty good. And then they also have like the traits available in the shop for you to buy for 1,500. So essentially you get the medal in 3 pulls, and then you have some leftover jewels in case you need to go to the Moogle shop and then buy some traits in order to trait roll them. It's a pretty good deal all in all. 3 rolls for 1 guaranteed tier 10 is a really good deal all in all. But keep in mind, though, it is random. So you get one of the 5, and it's totally random. So let's just say you're looking for Gula specifically, and you have the other 4. That's a 20% chance to get Gula from the Mercy. And again, we'll look at the draw odds real quick, go over to the stoppers, and it's just an even split across all of them, 20% each for each particular Foreteller here. Keep in mind, though, that while the Foretellers, they are nice, they are tier 10s, they don't have the newer mechanics. So again, they're not Supernova Plus++, and they don't have the Mastery skill. So moving forward, we're going to be seeing more medals with Supernova Plus++. We're going to be seeing more medals with the Mastery skill. Unfortunately, these tier 10 Foretellers, while they are good, don't have those new mechanics. So we don't know how soon we can expect them to be replaced. Is the big thing that I'm getting at here, is that while it is great, it is a 3 Polar Mercy. They do have the traits available in the shop. We just don't know when they're going to be replaced, considering they already are missing mechanics that the newer medals are giving us right now. So again, no Mastery skill and no Supernova Plus++. Currently looking at these medals, though, one of the big things to note is that while they are still good, and while it's very likely that at the time of this posting they'll help anyone who pulls them, a lot of them have outclass abilities that are, again, just outclassed by newer things here. So, for example, looking at, let's go to Gula first. So, Gula increases pretty much just a lot of speed metal strength. So, his activation of the special attack gives plus 1,500 speed metal strength, and then the activation of the Supernova gives plus 4,500. This falls a little bit short in comparison to the Chain of Memory Sora. So, if we go to Chain of Memory Sora here, if we can click on the notice. So, going to Chain of Memory Sora. So Chain of Memory Sora is a Supernova Plus+ medal. It has the Mastery skill. Its regular special attack increases all upright metal strength by 1,500, and then its Supernova attack increases, again, all upright metal strength by 4,500. So that pretty much almost completely outdoes Gula, with the one trade-off that Gula, being speed locked, so only having a speed metal strength go up, allows him to be used in things that require reverse speed metal. So things like Missing Ache will still get a good benefit from Gula that they will not get from the Supernova Plus+ Chain of Memories Sora. So that is one good thing about Gula, but again, the fact that Gula is speed locked, whereas the Chain of Memory Sora applies to all upright metals, gives the Chain of Memory Sora the edge, on top of the fact that Chain of Memory Sora has Supernova Plus++, where he can get additional strength on top of the Mastery skill, which again is inconsistent, but it does give a little bit of an extra push. So Gula is more or less outclassed by the Chain of Memory Sora, again, only working with Gula only working in the reverse speed setups. For Aced, so pretty much Aced is obsolete. Like, the greatest thing about Aced back when he was released is that he had a high strength stat and a high multiplier. But that recently became completely outdone by the release of Kingdom Hearts 3 Nominee. So looking at Kingdom Hearts 3 Nominee's stats, her strength is sitting at about 37,000 maximum with a 79.65 multiplier. Going back to Aced over here, so Aced has a maximum pretty much 38.5 thousand with a max multiplier of 72.69, and that is a scale, so it's damage plus higher HP, meaning that Aced can be as weak as a 55.31 multiplier. So in comparison to Nominee, Aced's just not cranking out what we needed him to do anymore, with the big thing being that Aced is a single target medal. So if you're playing Proud Mode and then you have to do a Proud Mode mission when you're only allowed to use single target, then maybe Aced's going to be good, but then you could just use a copy medal to copy Nominee. So Aced, while he was good at the time because of his ginormous strength, is just falling out the window in comparison to Kingdom Hearts 3 Nominee, which again is going to be our staple default moving here on forward. So Aced got replaced. Ava, let's take a look at Ava next. So everyone was all up in arms about Ava being the best Foreteller to pull, and let's take a look as to why. So the first one was that everyone was just like, oh, it gives all metals strength. Well, now that's been more or less replaced because again we have Kingdom Hearts 3 Naminé, which gives plus 5,000 on Supernova attack to all metals and then plus 2,000 for her just regular special attack. So in comparison to Ava, Naminé is doing a lot more work, giving pretty much 2 times the amount of strength with each special attack activation, and then the Supernova attack of Naminé gives metal strength as well. So metal strength was something that was specific to Ava back then. Now it's not nearly as unique, with things like Xion B having it, Kingdom Hearts 3 Naminé having it. So that uniqueness went away, and then everyone was again up in arms about the idea of the next medal becomes group attack. But like I was saying way back when Ava was released, is that they don't make good use of this mechanic. There aren't a lot of good single target medals that can make use of Ava. Before, it really just used to be Ava comboing with the Aced that we just talked about, but now Aced's not any good because Kingdom Hearts 3 Naminé is out, so everything that was special about Ava and everything that made Ava good more or less went out the window, so Ava got outclassed. So looking at Envy next. So Envy just got completely demolished by Kingdom Hearts 3 Naminé. Kingdom Hearts 3 Naminé's buffs, her damage output, her metal strength buff, all of it outclasses Envy. She even has a better gauge recovery. She restores HP consistently, whereas Envy does not do those things. So really the thing that makes Envy useful at this point is that she is a really good buffer if we're looking for something that is not power-based. So again, looking at our buffers, we've got Kingdom Hearts 3 Kairi A, HD Xion, Kingdom Hearts 3 Naminé. These are all great buffers, but they're all power-based. So if you're looking for something that's not power-based, then Envy definitely fills a good role, especially if she's got extra attack, being able to round out all your buffs. But more or less, Envy's been replaced. More or less, Envy's been kicked off the board by Kingdom Hearts 3 Naminé, who's just got far more superior tech associated with her. And then not Envy, but Ira just barely survives, in my opinion. I believe the best thing about Ira that keeps him going is that he's got a consistent damage multiplier that doesn't scale with things like HP or how many gauges you have left or anything like that. So Ira's going to have consistent damage output, and then he's also going to have that defense boost break 10%, so that's also going to be good because that is a tech that Kingdom Hearts 3 Naminé doesn't have. It's a tech that a lot of tier 10s don't have, so I believe the only ones that have it are Ira and Larxene. I think those are the only 2 tier 10s that come to mind that have the defense boost piercing effect, where they can break the defense boost in PvP. But that is one edge that Ira has. On top of that, Ira only costs 1 gauge, but restores 4 gauges, which pairs well, actually, with Kingdom Hearts 3 Naminé, because Naminé only restores 5 gauges. With extra attack, you're only restoring 10 gauges. So Ira is able to restore some of those gauges in case you want to use Naminé solely as your buffer, because the big offset for Naminé, again, that we talked about when we were talking about her, is that her gauge restoration is weaker than Kairi's. So having Ira paired with Kingdom Hearts 3 Naminé is going to put a lot of damage output and be able to restore gauges on a power setup. So in my opinion, Ira barely makes a cut for being able to survive in comparison to the new meta. But while I talked about all of these flaws, how they're not so spectacular anymore, they are still good medals and they are still tier 10s. So looking at even my setups right now, what I've got a lot of tier 9s running around. So right here, I've got the Kingdom Hearts 3 Aqua running around. If we look at my Sleeping Lion, this is not a good Sleeping Lion setup. But if we look at my speed medals in general, my best speed medal, or my highest strength one, is going to be Ultimate Form Sora, followed by Blitzform Sora, which are all tier 9s. Blitzform Sora does not have the ability to increase metal strength. Ultimate Form Sora does, but he is still tier 9. Granted, Ultimate Form Sora is still a fantastic medal, but the point is that they're not dealing as much damage. They don't have as much of a boost as something like Gula gives. So while I just kind of said the medals aren't super meta right now, they're not the best that's out, they're still really good. There's no doubt that anyone who pulls from this is gonna make good use of the Foreteller that they get out of it, unless they're like a super whale. Unless the person who's pulling is a super whale, has a gajillion million tier 10s already, they have like 5 Kingdom Hearts 3 nominees. But on average, anyone who pulls from this banner is going to be able to make good use of the Foretellers that come from it. So while I just dogged on them, they are still tier 10s. They still give more pet points. So again, looking at the pet, if we look at the gear, You get more points associated with tier 10s than you do tier 9s. So you got that. You've got the higher damage output because they have a higher special attack bonus. And they give you tier 10 subslot bonus. So going to the Keyblades, again, let's take a look here. So the tier 10s will give a 0.035 bonus, whereas tier 9s, like this frog right here, is only going to give 0.03. So high damage output, pet points, the subslots. So tier 10s, while these foretellers aren't exactly super new, they do still give you a lot. They are still really useful. And again, anyone who pulls from this is probably going to have a good use out of them. Talking about the foretellers a little bit more before you pull. So keep in mind that they did bring back Avatar Boards, and in the Moogle shop, they have traits available to be purchased. So, wait, that's not what I wanted to look at. So looking at the items here, you can see that they did bring back the Foreteller one. So in case that you pull the Foretellers, you don't have traits for them, you can buy some traits here for the low cost of literally 1,500 jewels, which isn't a lot considering that a normal Mercy is 15,000 jewels just to get it. So let's just say with the same amount of jewels, you use 9,000 jewels to do the 3 pulls, you get your Foreteller, and then you have a 6,000 jewel difference where you could pretty much purchase this thing like 4 times. Not only that, but if you, let's just say you pulled a bunch of times on Kingdom Hearts 3 Nominee, and then you have a bunch of VIP coins left, you can go to the Avatar Boards, and then they actually brought back the Foretellers as Avatar Boards. So again, talking about what we've talked about a lot with VIP coins, you have selectability, and you have the ability to choose which traits from these Avatar Boards you're getting. So the Foretellers are back. They brought back the ability to get traits on them. They're really cheap. They're still good tier 10s. Granted, they were sort of outclassed as time went on, and they will be outclassed. I don't know how soon, but I expect in the next like 2-3 months they're going to be almost useless. Almost. But yeah, they are still good. They're great. There's the ability to get traits for them, which is really important because traits on the metal is what's going to keep it future-proof. So honestly, it's a pretty decent banner. Even if we go to the draw odds, let's take a look at that real quick, because you guys know me. I like to look at math. I like to look at the stats. But looking at the banner real quick, so you're going to get 3 Kingdom Hearts 3 medals, and then you're going to get 7 general medals. So in the general medals, one of the best things about these Foreteller banners is that they're all in there. So it's not like the Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memory Sora that's out right now, where the best medal in there is Chain of Memory Sora, and then the next thing is some sort of tier 9. In the Foretellers banner, all the Foretellers are available in the draw odds, so there is the chance that you can draw additional Foretellers. So I cranked out the math for everyone here. For the general medals, which again are those 7 random medals here, the chance of getting an additional Foreteller medal is going to be 1 every 124 medals. So that means 1 every 13 pulls is likely to get an additional Foreteller. For the Kingdom Hearts 3 medals, which are these medals right here, the chances are even higher of you getting a Foreteller, with 1 of every 93 medals being an extra Foreteller. That's 1 every 10 pulls is getting an additional Foreteller. And then you could put those two together, which does math that unfortunately I don't really know how to do right now, but you have a relatively high chance of getting an additional Foreteller in comparison to any of the banners that we've had recently. So that's super good. On top of that, they did add this little notice here. Please note that the counter for the guaranteed random Foreteller will not reset even if you draw a Foreteller within 3 draws. So there's a high odds of getting an additional Foreteller, and it does not reset your counter. So if you got a Foreteller on the first draw and then the second draw, you're still going to get a guaranteed one on the 3rd draw. So high odds paired with the fact that it does not affect the Mercy is just really good. So if you need an abundance of tier 10 medals, this is a pretty decent banner, to be honest with you, because again, it gives you subslots, it gives you pet points, it gives you tier 10s, because again, I'm running around with a bunch of tier 9s, so with more tier 10s, you're going to be doing more, you're probably going to be able to pass more, you're able to do better in PvP, things like that. So tier 10s, they're still really good. Again, they don't have Mastery or Supernova Plus, but that's not to say that they're not good. Just keep that in mind. So one of the big things to keep in mind, though, is that Black Friday in the United States of America is right around the corner within the next 2 weeks. 2 weeks we've got Black Friday coming up. We don't know what they're going to drop. In past years, they've dropped things like banners, where if you bought VIP, you got half the jewels back. So if I spent 30,000 jewels and that deal was active, I got 15,000 jewels back. In the past, they also had a $5 VIP available for Black Friday. So we don't know what they're going to bring. So that leads into my next point, where you don't want to have too little jewels. So at the very least, if you want to pull from this banner, I do recommend staying within the 15,000 to 30,000 range. Because if something better comes out and this was really just a bait banner, you don't want to be caught without any jewels. You don't want to be caught with nothing left. So for example, looking at my jewels right now, I've got 34,000 jewels. If I pulled for at least one Foreteller on this, I'm looking at 25,000 jewels, and that's like a safe range to be in case something new comes out, something game breaking comes out. Even if it's a 10 pull Mercy, I should be able to make that difference up. So try and stay within that 15,000 to 30,000 jewel range if you want to pull from this banner. So that wraps it up for the Foreteller banner. I do think it is a good banner, but I'd really wait. And then one of the things to note is that it's around for 5 more days, and so is the Chain of Memory Sora. So that means by that point, we'll have a new banner that already came out in Japan. So we'll know exactly what's replacing the Foreteller deal, and then what's replacing the Chain of Memory Sora deal. So we know what's going to replace them. So really, you could wait until the very last day, see what comes out, and then decide whether or not you want to spend jewels on it. That's always the smart play, is to wait until right before the banner goes away, because then you know everything that's available to you. You know the avatar boards, you know any additional banners that are available, you know if there's any sort of crazy special deal going on. So that's why I usually like to wait until the last day, because I get to see everything that's available to me. So just keep that in mind. This is going away, the Chain of Memory Store is going away, and the Foreteller banner is going away the same day. So they gotta replace it with something, and then that's when we'll know whether or not it's best to pull for the Foretellers or not. Alright, so that ends my rant about the Foretellers. Let's move on to the next thing, which is going to be the casual Mickey and Minnie Avatar boards. So first of all, these look super cool. This literally looks like something I'd wear if I went to Disney World right now. Like, it looks super cool. And someone actually brought up a funny thing, is that like the shoes, they're casual, but they're really like Timberlands, which is really funny, because it's like real people shoes. They're not over exaggerated. They're not Kingdom Hearts shoes. So I find it just really funny. But looking at these avatar boards, you have until the 30th of November, so you've still got a long time to pull for them. It is in order to celebrate Mickey's birthday, which is going to be on the 18th. I don't know if they say that in this banner at all. They don't. But yeah, they're bringing these boards back because it is Mickey's birthday on the... Or is it his birthday? I believe it's his birthday. November 18th, I believe, is Mickey's birthday. But yeah, they gave us this new avatar board. One of the neat things about this avatar board is that usually when we get any, we get perks, but we only get one. So per avatar board, there's only usually one perk, but if you buy one of these 2 avatar boards, you're getting 2 perks. So the sunglasses will give you item drop perk +6, and then the casual Mickey earrings will give you item drop perk +2. It's the same way for the Minnie avatar board. So that's really nice that we actually get 2 parts that give a perk. However, the only thing for that is that I really don't know what percentage this item drop perk works. They don't give us any of that math in game, so I'd have to run like some sort of super crazy statistical analysis about like drop rates, things like that. So I'm not really sure how great item drop perk is, but just the fact that they're giving you something with 2 parts, with 2 perks, is pretty good. It's pretty new, and it just makes it a little bit more worth your value. Moving on to the skills, which again, whenever you buy the avatar boards, it's usually about the skills if you're looking for something meta, or it's about the look if you're just looking for something that looks cool. But looking at these skills, this is a great assortment of skills. Any beginner and most veterans will probably have a lot of value built in to these skills here. So the first thing is Attack Boost 11 Max. Attack Boost 11 Max is the highest max skill that we have right now in terms of dealing damage. We don't have Attack Boost 12 Max yet. 11 Max is the highest, and that's just really good because the greatest part about the Attack Boost Max skills that don't have a gauge attached to them, so right below it we see Attack Boost 10 Max with gauge 0. The best part about ones without that gauge 0 is that if the medal already has a gauge cost of 0 or it has a gauge cost of 1, the Attack Boost 11 Max is going to work perfect. It is going to work great on things with extra attack because you'll always get that extra attack off on average. There's not a lot of gauge costs associated with the metal originally. So attack boost 11 max works really, really good if the metal costs anywhere between 0 to 3 gauges. So best attack boost max skill out right now. Right underneath that, we've got attack boost 10 max gauge 0, and we talk about this a lot when we see a gauge 0 skill. It's to ensure that if you get the first activation off, you're definitely getting the second activation off. So remember that for the gauge skills, you have to have enough gauges to activate the metal before its special attack will kick in. So let's just say you have a metal and it costs 6 gauges, and then you have 7 gauges going into the metal. So you activate the first activation, which drains 6 gauges. You're left with 1 gauge left. But because you don't have the gauges to activate another 6 gauges, it's not going to go off. I know that was very, very poorly worded, but essentially you have to have the gauges before the skill will go off. And having attack boost 10 max gauge 0 guarantees you that if you have enough gauges going into the first activation of the metal, you are definitely getting the second activation off, because the first skill or the first special attack didn't drain any SP, so you should theoretically have enough for the second one. So attack boost 10 max gauge 0 is really, really great for things that have extra attack on them that are anywhere between a 2 gauge cost to whatever, to like a 30 gauge cost for that matter. Keep in mind though that there are some metals that have gauge cost plus X as part of their effect. So looking really quickly at one of them here, we're going to take a look at Pirate Form Sora. So let's go here, let's go find Pirate Form Sora. So remember that part of Pirate Form Sora's ability is gauge use plus 30 that you can see right there. So even if you have attack boost 10 max gauge 0, it's still going to drain 30 gauges because that's part of the special attack. Let's head back to the Avatar boards here. So again, 11 max, highest one we've got right now. Really, really great for things that cost anywhere between 0 to 3 gauges. Attack boost 10 max gauge 0, the second highest attack boost max we've got, with the ability to ensure that if you have something with extra attack, you're likely going to get it off again, which is super good. And then attack boost 8 max Lux plus plus is the last skill. It is the highest Lux plus plus attack boost combo that we've got right now. For the most part, I think it was only available once before. So now you have another shot at getting attack boost 8 max Lux plus plus, and by my standards and general game standards, if things don't have at least attack boost 8 max, it's probably time to replace the skill on that metal if you're still planning on using it. So attack boost 8 max Lux plus plus barely cuts the minimum for what you would need in terms of an attack boost, and it has Lux plus plus, which again multiplies the amount of Lux you get from an enemy when you attack with that specific metal by 4. And that is not a laughing matter. If you get a billion Lux with this skill activated all the time, you're getting 4 billion Lux. That's a big, big, big difference. So this is a great set of skills. Again, I really think any player can make great use of this, because now that we have a bunch of tier 10s that have relatively low gauge costs, so anywhere between like 0 to 3, that 11 max is going to be great. If you get an extra attack on something that costs 3 gauges like Ultimate Form Sora, that attack boost 10 max gauge 0 is going to be great. Or if you're a raider, then you have an attack boost 8 max Lux plus plus, which again is the highest combo for attack boost max and Lux plus plus that we got right now. So this is a fantastic set of skills. They're all max skills. They're all relatively relevant. So I think these are great avatar boards, and I definitely think that if you need the strength right now, you can't go wrong with this. I really think that this is a very solid set of stuff. And again, with avatar boards, you know exactly what you're getting. And when you know exactly what you're getting, that's a good deal, because there's no chance involved. There's no 1 in 3. There's no pulling and you get 10 random medals. You know exactly what you're getting. So that is my spiel on the avatar boards. And then we have a bunch of returning avatar boards. I took a look at all of these. There's really nothing too particularly relevant, because there's like attack boost 4 maxes in here. They've got like attack boost 5 max, defense boost 4, but not defense boost 4 max. So really the only thing that would have made these particularly relevant is going to be second chance, but none of them have second chance. So really, if you're buying them, it's just for straight aesthetics. That's all you're buying them for, which I totally understand, because making sure that you look happy in game is a good feeling in real life as well. So that's all we talked about. Again, we're gonna just recap really quickly. First things first, Dark Aqua, Anti-Aqua Funko Pop, that's available. For the event coins, just make sure you do it. I mean, again, the cost for the gems is really, really cheap. So even if you only do the event a few times, that's still going to net you a few gems. And it's really, all it costs you is AP and a few minutes of your time. So really, really cheap gems that are out right now. Foreteller's deal, super good. Again, they're going to be replaced relatively soon, in my personal opinion. But for 3 pulls, you get a guaranteed Foreteller, and they brought back the traits and the VIP boards. That's pretty good, in my opinion. But definitely save until the very end, where you know exactly what's coming next. And make sure you have anywhere between 15,000 to 30,000 jewels by the end of your pulling. And then lastly, the Avatar boards, the casual Mickey and the casual Minnie Avatar boards. Super great investment. I definitely think that they're going to be good. And there's really, in my opinion, no way you can go wrong when you know exactly what you're getting with the Avatar boards. But with that being said, that is the end of this video for today. Thank you all so much again for watching. If you want to join my Discord, the link is, I'll never get this right for as long as I'll live. Link is that way right there. Remember, it is case sensitive. So the K, the N, the M, and the S all have to be capitalized. Right now, we've got the question for the week going on. What is your favorite world in the Kingdom Hearts series and why? So if you want to answer that question, go ahead, drop by the Discord and answer in that. I believe it's the question of the week for the week of November 10th. I believe, what is Sunday? I believe Sunday's the 10th, but it could be the 11th. It was the 10th. So if you want to answer that question, it is live for 1 more week. And then just join in, have some fun. Right now, we're all just really excited about Christmas. So definitely join in if you want to join in on the fun. Show off some of your drawings. That's what we've been doing a lot there too. So it's a good time in the Discord if you want to drop by. But with that being said, again, thank you all so much for watching. And until next time, take it easy.